Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is MS Collections. Thank you for stopping by. In today's video, we'll be learning how we made this dress. This is a Victorian corset dress. So with this cape, of course. So if this is what you're interested in, please do well to watch till the end. I have the part 1 on this video that covers the pattern drafting, and like I said in the part 1, I made 2 of these dresses. Their styles are similar, okay, so but the making process is the same. So please stay tuned as I take you through the sewing process. Okay, so as you can see, I've already cut out my patterns and I added 1/2 inch seam allowance just at the sides where I need to join the bustiers together. Okay, so I also put hair stain inside. This fabric I used is the liquid Mikado fabric, so you can decide to use any fabric of your choice. I went ahead, like I said, to put hair stay inside, and then for the front pieces, you can see I have 3 pieces here. I have 2 for the front pieces, and then I have 1 for the back piece. It's explained in the cutting video. So if you've not watched it out, do well to check it out. I will drop the link in my description box. Okay, so for the front pieces, this is the back piece actually that I'm showing you. It has hair stay inside. For the front piece, which is this one I've laid open, and the other bustier side, I put breast pad on it. Yes, so this is it. This is what I'm showing you. I just put breast pad on the bust area, okay, and these are the sides I'll be joining. So these sides are the parts that have the, where I'll be joining is the part that has the allowance. So I'll go ahead and join on the machine. And you can see this is the lining as well. I put soft gum stay on the lining. I have my modesty panel there as well. This is the modesty panel and with the lining and everything. Okay, so this is the cape that we cut. I use collar gum for this cape, and you can see in the center I doubled the collar gum just to give me that structure, and I've gone ahead to sew the edge of the collar gum as you can see me do. It's also liquid Mikado fabric, but for the lining I use the normal Mikado fabric that is stronger. That's what I use for the lining. So you can see how far I've gone with it. I sewed one edge and left the other side because I'll be using boning as well. So for the other side I'm going to hem, and towards the end of the video I'll show you more on what I did about the cape. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join as I said I would, and this is what we have, guys. I've joined the center piece. You can see how I've ironed my seam allowances open, and you can see I padded the bustier side with hair stay. Okay, if you don't know how to pad, I also drop the link in my description box how to pad bustiers with hair stay. That's what I did, and you can see that firm structure I have there. I also went ahead to attach my back piece. Okay, so I shaped the dress according to my desired measurement, and you can see that is what I have there. So for the lining, I went ahead to do the same shaping, and I put my bonings as you can see, and then I sewed my bra cups to the lining. So take note of how the lining is facing. This is like the bad side of the lining, and you can see I put my boning facing inward, and then the bust part is facing, like the cup part is shooting out, because this is a point, or this is the side that the front piece is going to sit on. Okay, so please, when you are doing all these things, take note of the positions that you need to work on your dress. So for my front piece, I went ahead, and because I didn't want the boning lines to show, outside, I went ahead and put my bonings on the dress and used hair stay to iron it down. Okay, this is just to give my dress the structure I want. So you can try out that method, and it came out really nice. Okay, so for the second dress I was making, I told you I was making 2 dresses but similar styles. I put the stones on. This particular dress has a lace on it, so I put the stones following the patterns on the lace, okay, before joining. Yes, so for the first dress, it was after I was done that I put the stones, but for this one I had to follow the pattern, so I put the stones before joining. This is the lining for that dress. You can see the bonings. Okay, I've explained this for the other dress. And look at how I put the net. Okay, I'll show you how I came about this, but look at how I fixed that net. Okay, this can be very challenging if you do not know how to go about it, but this is a very simple method I go about fixing illusion net on dresses. You can see I sewed it to the lining facing where I want it to face. Okay, please take note that it's facing this side because I want the front piece to come and cover it. So I just watch carefully what I did. I just placed it, sewed it in place. And then for my main fabric, look at it, I went ahead to iron the seam allowance at the top. Okay, so I just use my iron to iron the seam allowance so that I will now top stitch everything. So basically, top stitching this part of the dress for the neckline works very, very fine for me, and you can try it out if you have not tried it out. The same process, like I said, is what I use for this, and you can see how my bustier cup is sitting very well. Now look at the allowance I ironed at the top. Can you see? Yes, so that's how I ironed it, and I'll just go ahead and place on that lining side and top stitch, and you have a neat finish. Okay, so back to the making of our dress. This is the net. I'll show you how I went about that neckline. This is the illusion net. Now take note that for this particular dress that doesn't have the lace, I did not double the net. And how do you know a net that is good? Look at, can you see how I'm stretching it and it's not cutting? Okay, and when you're cutting, please make sure that the width of your fabric is on the stretchy side so that your net lasts longer, because a lot of people complain that these nets don't last, but using these simple tricks can help you have a long-lasting net on your dress. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join. I showed how we cut this in the part 1 of this tutorial. Please do well to check it out. So I went ahead to join the shoulder lines, and then I just want to cut that black that we saw on the illusion net. And take note that these joinings I did, this is the good side, okay, because the black will be covering it up and I want to have a neat finish underneath. Okay, so the black I joined this is the good side, even though this net does not have a good and bad side, but your good side, of course, you are going to assume it, join it, and then so that when you're done sewing this, it will cover the top, okay, to cover that joining, and then you have a neat finish underneath. So you can see what I'm doing. I just went ahead to cut the exact shape of the neck. Okay, look at how I folded. Just watch carefully and you'll understand. So I'm notching the midpoint, and then I'll go ahead and mark. I used 1.5 inch measurement round for the neck. Now can you see? Okay, I'm going ahead to still mark the length, okay, how long I want the shoulder line of the black to be. So you can see, just watch carefully and you understand. Guys, if you watched this far, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and give me a thumbs up, okay, if what you're watching makes sense. Please do well to like and share the video so you can see. Yes, okay, so I used 1.5 inch round, but later for this shoulder part I reduced it to 1 inch on both sides since I needed it on both sides. So yes, just watch carefully. For the neckline, 1.5 inch, and then yes, so at first for the neckline I used 2 inches, but I later reduced it to 1.5 inch because it looked too big for me. So you can see, so for the neckline please use 1.5 inch, and then for the shoulder line use 1 inch on both sides. It's just fine, except you want it bigger. Okay, so I'm going ahead to cut, and then these edges that I'm cutting, I'll bias them. I didn't show how I biased it on camera, but I biased it and I put soft gum on it, and then I went ahead to bias it. This is a Mikado fabric I'm using. I went ahead to bias it around so that it can give me that nice curve. Okay, and then I'll sew the neckline, bringing it outwards, and then I'll just top stitch. Okay, so when I'm sewing, I'll show you how to go about that. Look at what I'm talking about. So I sewed it and brought it outwards. Okay, and look at, you can see as I biased it, so I'll go ahead to stop stitch round my illusion net. Okay, it's very simple, guys. And then, like I said, for the latter style, which you'll be seeing at the end of this tutorial, I used just one illusion net, so I had to close up the rough edge while sewing. But for the first style you saw, that's the one I used the lace, I doubled the illusion net. Okay, so I just used the second illusion net to close up all the edges. So you can see the way I've stopped stitching it, guys. Please, if there's any point you do not understand, do well to take the video back and rewatch, and then I believe you get a better understanding. Feel free to drop your questions, your comments in the comment section, and I'll attend to them. Okay, this is very simple, guys. Okay, so we are done, and this is what we have. Yes, so I did this on the net before placing it on the dress. Okay, it's much easier that way. And like I said, I've already shown us how I explained with the other dress how to place this net, and it's the same thing I did for this one. Okay, so basically it's the same thing I did. I'm just going ahead to show you how. Okay, so you can see the way I pinned it down. The only difference is for the other dress, I pinned it on the lining. I sewed it on the lining before placing the main fabric, but for this one I placed on the main fabric and then covered up with the lining. But basically it's the same process. Just make sure you work well with your pins and just try to be as accurate as possible. Okay, so the methods are the same, and you can see I've gone ahead to stitch it, and our dress is good to go. Okay, so for this part, which is the base of the dress, I will just be top stitching as well. Okay, so yeah, because of all the bonnets inside the dress, sewing inside and bringing it out may be a little bit challenging, so I'm just going ahead to stretch the dress, and then I'll be top stitching all around. For this one, I've not put the modesty panel, but I'll go ahead to show you when I put the modesty panel. I'll top stitch the sides. I'm going to be top stitching the base of the dress. Okay, so this is it, guys. Look out for this one. This is the point you attach your modesty panel. Okay, attach it to the lining. I usually attach my modesty panel to the lining of the dress before closing it up. Okay, so this is the lining. Then after attaching my main dress, which is this point, I've not sewn this one, but after I sew this part, then I'll go ahead and close up the sides with top stitch. Okay, so I'm just showing you how I'll go about that. Okay, so everywhere will be neatly top stitched, and when that is done, I'll show you the final result. As you can see, I've done that. I've closed up all the sides, the base. I've closed it up with top stitch, and you can see by the sides I added boning. That's beside the loops. Okay, now the loops, look at how I've top stitched it. That loop side is very necessary you add boning, and I like to add the non-swivel boning to my loop side just to give me more structure. Okay, so you can see how this is, guys. This is coming out pretty well and nice. You can look inside, see how we have a neat finish. Okay, for this particular dress I used a doll face as the lining. For this one I used the cotton lining. For the other dress I used the face as the lining. So you can see, guys, look at how I went about it. Okay, just to sew everything, sew all your allowances as you want, and go ahead and top stitch as I'm showing in the video. It's very simple, guys. Okay, so if you've come this far and you have not subscribed, please make sure you do well to subscribe, like my video, give me a thumbs up, share, turn on your notification bell, very importantly, so you get notified when I drop. You'll be the first to be notified when I drop new content, because I always drop amazing videos. You won't want to miss out. Okay, so basically that's that about the dress. Very simple. So look at, this is how this one turned out. Okay, so look, I started beading it. Okay, but along the way I decided to stone it first before adding the beads at the top. Okay, so this is me just removing to show you, just how the finishing is at the top. Look at what we have. It was after here for this one that I went ahead to stone it. Okay, so and then this is the final look. Not really the final look though, but after stoning, this is what we had. Okay, so for these stones, they were not patterned, just scattered around the dress. The first dress, you can see the stones were patterned, but for this one, we just wanted it scattered around the dress. And you can see what we have, guys. I just used the shiny bias, a small shiny bias tape to seal up the edges of the dress, and then I attached the skirt to it. Okay, so it was after I just showed you how to make the up. You can go ahead and attach the skirt whatever design you like. As you can see, I use a backsline for attaching the skirt, and it's very simple, guys. So the skirt also was stoned, so I used like a full pack, more than a full pack of stones for this dress, because the skirt had a lot of volume. Okay, this is the mannequin, so we may not see, but it had so much volume, so I had to use more than a full pack of stones to do this, guys. And of course I beaded, just added beads at the top of the net. Okay, so this is it, guys. For the cape, okay, I said I was going to explain the cape. I'm sorry I didn't capture all of this on camera. I was working with a deadline, but you can see I added boning. Okay, look at the cape. I added boning at the top and at the base. Okay, so just go ahead and stitch that allowance and add boning. I added non-sewable boning, okay, so that it will give me that structure I need. And then you can see as I concealed it with the shiny bias, I used the half-inch shiny bias to conceal round. Okay, so it's very simple, and then I just went ahead and placed. Okay, so whatever length you want to measure and cut your cape accordingly. For the first dress, I covered the inside of the cape with lace. That's why if you start the big video from the beginning, you'll see that the first dress inside the cape is lace, and it has lace, and it was a little bit stoned. Okay, but the process is the same. Okay, and that's it, guys. So Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can see the beads. I added the beads on the neckline, on the shoulder, and at the illusion. Same process for both. Okay, so thank you for watching. Again, please do well to turn on the notification bell. You get notified, so you get notified when I drop my other videos. I'm so glad you watched up to this point. I hope you learn. I hope you try it out. Okay, so for the cape, you may have to use your needle and thread to tack it on your client. Okay, so when it's worn, go ahead and use your needle and thread and tack it to the position you want on your client. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.